I want to first thank Anna for giving me this opportunity. You, as much as Francis, have made me feel like one of the family. Not only feel it, but know it. And that's never going away. If Aunt Frances had a best friend necklace, she'd have to have the friend part like multiplied by 1,000, because she'd get to wear the best and we'd all get to wear the friend, because she had lots of them. And you've brought that right into the family. Thank you. I wanted to point out the fact that, as Anna said, Aunt Frances, as my daughter and I call her, she picked out this day. I hear that this was the day that was available, and I feel certain that she made sure of that. It's the 8th. She never would let herself be defined by the hope ribbon. And she always, instead of the hope ribbon, even on a pair of custom chaps that she had made, instead of the hope ribbon, she had the infinity sign, which is 8, on her chaps. She's working through you more than you even realize. And you know, another thing, with this whole morning and this whole week, it's been overcast, it's been cold and rainy, and we're driving here today, and Mike says to me, "There's not a cloud in the sky." I mean, you know, she can make the sunshine now. She did it before, and she's doing it even more now. So thank you. This won't be really long, but I just want to tell you guys a bit about my relationship with her. Many of you were blessed to know her for many, many years. I've been blessed by 3, but I can promise you those 3 years were huge. Time is not defined as we think it is. I'm certain of that. I host horse shows, obstacle challenges, where horse and humans team up together to overcome challenges, all right? Overcome obstacles that we set up. Now, this is often really scary for the horse, because the horses are not familiar with our human world, with our human obstacles, you know, just much like us in the divine. The horses are kind of lost. So I was in the arena one day judging one of my obstacle challenges, and here comes Frances and her horse Odie. And they were doing an in-hand class, meaning that she was on foot, she wasn't riding. They were both, you know, equal players, equal ground. And they're going around doing the obstacles, and the obstacles are kind of set up in a semicircle around me as the judge watching. And she's going around, and things are going pretty well. And she gets to a really difficult obstacle that's a water box. And this is a man-made box that's about this deep in water. And to the horses that haven't stepped in it before, it's scary. They don't know that there's a bottom to that box. All they see is the water, right? They have no idea that there's even a bottom to this thing. So her horse is terrified. So she gets to this water box with Odie, and Odie starts dancing around, right? He does not want to go through the water box. And, you know, and you can see Frances figuring out, okay, what do I do? What do I do now? First time she'd ever been to any kind of horse show. And I'm sitting there watching her, and I see Frances. She slows down, she takes a breath, she plants her feet, she looks down at the ground, she drops her shoulders, and she just completely melts, okay? She looked like a standing meditative figure of some sort, all right? And at first, her horse didn't really recognize this. Her horse is kind of, you know, still being afraid of the scary water box. But it didn't take long, and her horse started to melt just a little bit as well, all right? As soon as her horse started to mirror her energy and emotion, Frances, being the brilliant leader that she is, she told him that was wonderful, and they moved on, okay? That day, they did not actually go in the water box, even though I will tell you that it didn't take long before they did, and since they won many of our obstacle shows, that day they did not go in the water box. But that day, she was able to help him with something that was much more important to their relationship together. She showed him how to trust her. She showed him that by her guiding her emotions, the same way that she has taught me to do with my children, the same way that she's taught teachers to do with their students in school, she has taught all of us, and she did this by example, to embody what it is that you want someone else to do. You don't go around changing the world by living from the outside in. You live from the inside out. And that's what she did with her horse. To many people, it would have looked like, what is she doing? Why is she not making that horse go through the water box? But Frances knew what she was doing. She was going inward, and she was showing that horse what she needed for that horse to do. And that is how she lived every step of her life. Now, I'm not here trying to tell you that Frances always, went into a meditative state when she was ready to change the world. Okay, sometimes that was not what the world needed. But Frances never, ever, ever let her circumstances define her. Rather, she went inside and she defined new circumstances from the inside out, from her light that always shined bright from the inside out. And I'm going to tell you something else. Frances told me many times that fear is actually a good thing. That horse was afraid of that water box, okay? We have lots of water boxes, and Frances had plenty of them herself. But she told me time and again that fear, it's a sign something's about to get really real. Something's about to change. Something new is happening. I can hear her say it right now. When you're scared, you know something big is about to happen. Anybody else ever had her give you that advice? I know I'm not the only one. And I'll be honest, I know I'm not the only one, and I'm scared. It's scary. I want to see her. I want to be able to look at her hair, like my daughter said this morning. I want to be able to see her hair. I want to be able to see her face. The vessel that I remember is Frances. I want to be able to see that. I want to be able to call her up and text her and know that she's going to tell me what I need to do. She's going to know the perfect advice to say, and she is not going to be afraid to tell me what it is. I want that. And it scares me not to have it. It scares me not to have it. But I also know, I can hear her telling me right now that, good, I'm glad you're scared. Because this is going to be big. This is going to be big. And I know it is. I know it is. I want to tell y'all just a short little story, as if you thought that was a story, to close here. And this just embodies everything that I was saying and that I feel from Frances. And I was doing a demonstration at the county fair about 2 years ago with my Mustangs, with my horses. And Aunt Frances was there. She had come out to support it. My daughter, Philly Kay, at the time was about 3 years old. Okay, and the deal with the fair is we do a little demo. We get to go ride the rides. Pretty sweet deal. So so Philly Kay, she's ready to go ride the rides at the fair. Okay, and she's standing there with her daddy, and she's getting rather impatient, as many of us do, especially when you're 3, even when you're however old. And she's just getting stir crazy. She's pulling on her daddy, and Aunt Frances is standing there, and she's standing. She says, "Look at that! Look at that!" Oh, and just out of the blue. And Philly Kay's like, huh? She comes over. Philly Kay comes scrambling over, and looks at that. And Aunt Frances reaches down and she picks up this little thing and she looks at it and she says, "Look at this." It was a piece of mulch. Okay, little piece of mulch. She said, "How did it get to be so small?" She and Philly Kay study this little piece of mulch, right? Can you not see her saying this? I mean, this is so her. They must have studied that piece of mulch for 10 minutes solid. Totally kept her occupied. And then I finish up with my performance. We go ride the rides. Life is good, But that is her. That is her. And you know what? I want to tell you guys what I think. And this is what I truly think. She may not occupy the vessel that we once knew her by, the face that we are familiar with and we grew to love. That may not be where her spirit resides right now. But I feel certain that she is going to be using many other vessels to help guide us, to help give us confidence and courage. And I think it's our job as her friends, as her family, as her partners in this life. I think it is our job to be looking, to be listening, to be feeling. I do not think at all that Aunt Frances is over there up in heaven in some faraway place, right? That sometimes I feel like we get this image of heaven being far away, sitting up there on some throne, shaking hands with God, and oh gosh, thank God I'm not there anymore. Whew, I don't think that. I feel like heaven is here. Heaven heaven is here, and I feel like the church embodies that as well. Heaven is right here, God is right here, heaven is right here. We don't see it, it's in some other dimension, but it's here, and that's why Francis's spirit is able to communicate with us the way that it does and will and has and will continue to. So what I ask you is to please do not look at this as goodbye. Do not look at this as farewell, I'm sending you on your way. I feel like instead we must open up to her now more than ever. Look for her everywhere. Let her use you to continue to guide this world. She has always been very well connected with the divine, and I know everyone in here, you are going to agree with me. But just look at the vantage point that she's got now. If we'll let her use our bodies, look at the vantage point she has now. A spirit like Francis's does not just go away simply because something as temporary as a mere physical vessel has gotten worn out. Let her guide your feet through your deepest water boxes. Let her guide your eyes to the most magical piece of mulch you are ever going to see. And thank you.